Let's talk about episode 3, season 2 of The Last of Us. And I feel like I might be alone in this, but I liked this episode a lot. I love the pacing. I love the slowing down of what happened in the last episode. I like the juxtaposition of the two things. There is one thing that two that I don't particularly love, but I think I understand the one, and I'm not quite sure about the other, so we'll have to wait and see. So we start with a shot of the destruction of Jackson and a pan out. And then you see Tommy sitting with Joel's body. And I really do think what they're doing with Tommy is better than what happens with Tommy in the second game. I like this character better. Judge me if you want to. But I like this Tommy better. And obviously I'm supposed to like this Tommy better, but I just think in general, I like this Tommy better. And the first 20 minutes of this episode are gut-wrenching. This is everything that I needed to make the last episode kind of sit right. Because like I said, I thought they sort of sped that whole thing up so that it didn't really have the impact. And I even think the beginning of this episode kind of emphasizes that, right? Joel is just one body amongst many in the beginning of that episode, showing that like he was not alone in what happened in Jackson. But everything that happens after that, I think just is a gut punch for about 20 minutes. Unlike the game where everyone just goes running off, I mean, not technically, right? But unlike the game where everyone seemingly just goes running off to Seattle, we have a vote to see if anybody's going to Seattle. And the council says, no one's going to Seattle. But this is a show, so someone has to go to Seattle. I sort of liked the Seth redemption arc, but maybe not for the reasons that you would think. I like that it's a complex redemption arc because you're like, is that a redemption arc that he moved from homophobia to xenophobia? Is that better? I'm not really sure if it's better, but the way that it leaves off with them shaking hands, maybe it is better. I like that writing. I also really liked Ellie's speech to the council. I thought that was well written and well executed. And I also agree some parts of this episode are spoon-fed so you can bring the audience along who has not played the game because there's still quite a bit of gaminess happening. But speaking of that, as we're getting ready to go to Seattle, we get to meet a new group. These are the Seraphites. They are also called the Scars at one point in the game. And that scene is interesting because they are not what they seem, despite us having lots of empathy for them in this episode. And there's a little bit of a, not necessarily, a double entendre is not the right way, but I believe in the games they call the infected wolves. So you have the Washington Liberation Front and the actual infected, both having a similar name by this group. So obviously the clickers don't have guns yet, so it was the other one. But know that that might be a bit confusing. Now, the tent scene is probably my biggest sticking point because I want us to decide where we're going. And what happens in the tent scene, deflating what happened at New Year's Eve, I would say it's too early to tell, but we only have 4 episodes, so maybe it's not. I mean, there's going to be another season, but this arc needs to kind of land somewhere sooner than later. And that half in, half out scene is very different than the game, and I think has implications that will have to be wrapped up in order for the rest of this to make sense. All said and done, though, those first 20 minutes did it for me, and I'm excited to see where this is going. What did you think?